Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. How is everyone doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. I hope this video finds you well. Things just don't add up. Boy, you ain't kidding. And we're going to get into that. Do a little psychological analysis. I should have put in my thumbnail MK Ultra and Mockingbird, because we're dealing with fragments and different iterations of those things, and you're looking at part of it. So anyway, we're going to talk about a lot of things, but what do? I play videos when people come in, give them time to get a cup of coffee, a nice cold brouhaha, or an adult beverage of their choice. And what do after we play the videos? What will we do? We'll be like butter and get on roll.
About us charging folks.
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won, okay? They are militarily defeated. The only thing they have is the psychology of, oh, we're going to drop a couple of mines in the water, all right? No, we have a concept where we'll charge tolls, okay? I thought you meant us.
Corralled into this box where we either have to hate Vladimir Putin and believe everything evil that's said about him and love Ukraine, and there's no in between. And that reminds me a lot of, you're either a white supremacist or you go with the Democrat narrative on everything under the sun.
The most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today, white supremacy.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
I mean, there's as much interference here as you could possibly imagine. Before you even get to Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, and all of their children who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. These days, it's hard to believe anything because they've lied about COVID, they lied about Russia collusion, they lied about the Ukraine impeachment trial, and there's so much more going on in Ukraine that nobody is talking about.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
My job as a journalist is to try to understand what is the truth here. I don't like being lied to, and we're being lied to on an epic scale. When we're told your only choice is you have to be 100% with Zelensky. Slava Ukraina. The puppet who you can find on the internet in black stilettos and leather pants. Zelensky was selected, like so many of our leaders. And honestly, with big tech and with election fraud these days, we don't know how many leaders all around the world have been selected for us and weren't actually voted in.
How to build back better.
We have to build back better.
Build back better.
If Donald Trump gets the Republican nomination, there are many of us that will move heaven and earth to ensure he doesn't win.
We are fighting the same battles all over the world. To pretend that this war is about Russia and Ukraine is a barefaced lie. Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities and whatever else they're doing in Ukraine. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering for many of the leaders in this country. Billions of US dollars have been laundered through Ukraine, and we say nothing about it. Does nobody question these things? We have an idiot like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Mr. Vindman.
Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Do you always insist on civilians calling you by your rank?
And sits there as a lieutenant colonel. He didn't even make colonel. And he's telling the President of the United States what his policy should be. You have a traitor in the form of Maria Yovanovitch, who was Obama's ambassador, who's telling Ukrainian government officials, don't listen to the will of the American people.
In his July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the president badmouthed Yovanovitch, calling her bad news.
I was shocked, absolutely shocked.
And then she's given a cushy job for life at Georgetown University, and we're told that the President of the United States cannot say to his foreign counterparts that we want you to look into something.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. And they put in place someone who was solid.
So much hypocrisy and dishonesty here, and Ukraine is at the center of it all.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give president
political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate everyone who showed up this evening and all my viewers after the live stream and all my lurkers out there. So, yeah. Let's see. Who do we got coming in to see me tonight? Wow, we got a big crowd. A big crowd. Really big shoe. Ed Sullivan. Hi, Darla. Roberto. Linda. Robin. Let's see. Elva's here. Nice to see you, Kim. And if I miss anybody, I don't mean to. Miss Minder Sue and Robert. Nice to see you. All right, as usual. There's Wayne giving me thumbs ups and flannel cheese. Ha ha ha. Robert's here. Let's see. Robin has made it in. That's I'm naming off the coffee crowd, aren't I? All right. Let's see. Cole's here, and we know who's next if Cole's here. Rebecca's here. Who's not the next one, but going to be next. Cole, yeah, Cole and let's see. Candace Cleanup. Let's see. Sherry's here. Who else is coming in? All right. Is that Roland? No, it's Robert. He's not in yet. That's all right. So, anyway. Now, I noticed, like I said, I made some people mad. Hi, Tammy. Nice to see you. When I was talking about, I popped some bubbles. People, be careful who you follow. Mountain, how you doing? And I will pop bubbles. Tammy, nice to see you. So we got the younger gang here. Ha ha ha. Greg, nice to see you. Nice to see you all. So, yeah, I'll pop some bubbles now. Because you got to stay focused. You got to be not going down rabbit holes where you miss the action that's really going on. Things don't just add up. Things just don't add up. Well, that's true. I want to ask about some things that don't add up. And all the things that are happening. I got a picture I want to put on the screen. Ask if you all heard. Is this real? Did she really put this up? Wait a minute. Where is it? I got a lot of stuff. What happened in the UK? They had a member of parliament. Somebody broke in her house and ended her life. But did she really put this up? I think Adam Francisco put this up. And he said, I almost fell out of my chair. Look there. What do you see? Candace Owens. At real Candace Owens. It must be real. Should I run for president with Thomas Massey in 2028 or 2032 can't decide. I mean, are these people jerking people's chains on purpose? What a ridiculous notion. You know what doesn't add up to me? Is with all the things we see going on, some old man out in the woods, in the mountains, last night came up with a video almost to the day 2 years ago where Trump was talking about Iran making very direct threats to assassinate him. Very dangerous. And he laid out how they didn't get into the phones of the prior assassins and how that needed to be done. All this stuff. Those are questions we need to be asking. What doesn't add up is you, Candace, and you, Massey, shoveling up garbage about Erica Kirk, and Massey, you shoveling up garbage about the Epstein files to distract people from all the things we're talking about. Isn't it something that I recovered that video almost to the day Trump gave that speech at the rally before the elections about Iran? So, yeah, it doesn't add up why you all are doing that. Are you a part of a Mockingbird situation? Or do you even know it? Are you just going on money? What's causing you all to do these distraction ops? Israel shared intelligence with the U.S. You all are my witness. I brought this up last night. Then comes reports of Israel sharing intelligence of Iranian plot to assassinate Trump, sources say. CNN of all sites. Iran had recently devised a new plan to assassinate President Donald Trump. Two sources familiar with the matter told CNN. And look at the orchestrated comments. Yeah, they also said Iran would have a nuclear weapon in a week or two. They're very reliable. That highly reliable IDF intelligence. Is Iran in the room with us right now? Gaslighting. Make us think we're crazy. That Iran is good. Obama's deal was good, and Trump just screwed it up. This is about Mom Dami. Trump and the refusing to sign the housing bill, which he came up with. But anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. So you got this orchestrated stuff, and they've been ignoring it for 2 years, the assassination attempts. And she's jumped right on board with it and doing the Erica Kirk bashing. And now that it's coming out, so much stuff, it's undeniable what's going on. And what's going on with the judge handling this case? New York Post, trans lover of Charlie Kirk's killer reveals in courtroom, Tyler confessed to me. On and on. They showed a video today. Well, Jack Posobiec was there. Let me see if I got that clip. How are they going to talk their way out of this? Here. You know, I tell you where I got that picture on the thumbnail. Right here. Babylon Bee. I highlighted it, made it a little more, stand out a little bit more because it's kind of a dark picture. But here you go. Candace Owens confirmed to be a Jewish plot to make anti-Semites look retarded. It's some kind of plot. Even the corner picture on the left of my screen right now. what Trump's talked about with 9/11. We never got to the bottom of that. So what doesn't add up is why Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, all of the people I'm talking about right now, why are they not even discussing that stuff and focusing on this or whatever kind of distraction? Is it for the money? Is it for the clicks, the views? So much so I can't cover. I try to talk hour and a half, 2 hours almost every damn night, and I'm a one-man band, and there's so much to cover. Like the switching of the planes, there's a lot I want to get into about that. Like why he went to Turkey and he told him I wouldn't come here if it wasn't for Turkey. I think they had more to do with exposing the plot than Israel did. But anyway, that's a sensitive thing for an Arab country to work with infidels against another Arab country. But we won't get into that. Here's a parody, okay? I'll say it right now so I won't get in trouble. This is a parody clip. But
she can connect any two events in history with yarn, thumbtacks, and unwarranted confidence. She doesn't need sources. She is the source. She once debated herself and lost twice. Intelligence agencies follow her Twitter just to see what they're doing next. She never met an obvious explanation she couldn't turn into a confusing 2-hour podcast. She possesses priceless secrets, but will share them with anyone for a small subscription fee. In her world, all roads lead to Israel, even cul-de-sacs. She is the most kooky podcaster in the world, but then again, the feds told us to say that.
So, if there's any diehard people out there who are all for Candace, hey, I'm going to tell you, you're wasting your precious time. We got a lot of other stuff, and these nefarious Mockingbird and MK Ultra style attacks daily on our psyche and that of our friends and neighbors, and we got to worry about putting out facts and truth. Hi, Johnny. How you doing? Nice to see you. And I don't want to make anyone angry. I don't want to insult anybody. That's right, Miss Spendersue. No, where is Todd? I hope he's all right. Hi, Doc. How you doing? And Randy, if you're out there, buddy, I hope you're doing all right too. And Angel and everybody else, Angela. So, yeah. We all want to stick together. So anyway, it's going to be hard for her to justify. I think I'm going to take that down. And I'm going to put this up. These are things. Why worry about Erica Kirk and Charlie Kirk with these conspiracy theories when we've got stuff going on for years? Chelsea Clinton is married to Mark Mavinsky. Mark Mavinsky is George Soros's nephew. All right, there's a start for the newbies who don't know what's going on in life. Here. Let's do a side by side here. Here and here. All this stuff going on. Why worry about Erica Kirk? Yes, California Governor Gavin Newsom is Nancy Pelosi's nephew. And yes, Adam Schiff's sister is married to George Soros's son. And yes, John Kerry's daughter is married to a mullah's son in Iran. And yes, Hillary's daughter, Chelsea, is married to George Soros's nephew. If you had a hunch the news system was somewhat rigged and you couldn't put your finger on it, this might help you. I'll leave this up for a while. What do you think, folks? There we go. Somebody want to get a screenshot of that and put it on their meta page, they're more than welcome to. There you are, Angela. All right. Well, enjoy your time with them. You can watch me any old day. Spend your time with your family. Haha. Right, Outlandish. How you doing? So, yeah. Why do you all think this is? Why do you think it is that Thomas Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, all these screwballs? I want to put a picture up for you. He usually puts this up when he's upset over something. Right? How many of you seen this MAGA hat guy outside with a cigarette rolling in his eyes? Like, here we go. I've had enough. I'll tell you who. Somebody that I agree with quite often. You all know who it is. I'll put up both his... he's an infantryman, right? An infantryman. Now, he uses stronger language than I would use, but while the morons peddle absurd theories with no basis in reality, I have a legitimate theory. Given the Antifa phrases like, hey, fascist, catch, and Bella Ciao carved on to the bullet casings, it's safe to say Robinson was, at the very least, influenced by Antifa. What if he is more than just influenced? What if there is more direct involvement, coordination from Antifa members? If that proves to be the case, that would mean this is not just an assassination, but a political act of terror by a domestic terrorist organization that is currently engaged in open rebellion, insurrection against the United States. Let me get the next screen up. If this happens to be the case. If it ends up being the case, one could make the argument that all the people who have been running cover for Robinson, like Candace Owens and Ian Carroll, are co-conspirators to the act of terror and co-conspirators to an ongoing insurrection. The biggest winners from all the nonsense theories are Antifa, the left-wing mainstream media, and their Democrat handlers, who have been encouraging and carrying out violence against Trump and his supporters for years. Even if there's no direct proof of Antifa involvement, you could make the legal argument that Candace Owens is a literal terrorist, unlawful enemy combatant, aiding and abetting the enemies of the United States. Boy, that's some strong words. And along with that, he put up a picture of one of the casings that was left behind here. And, you know, a lot of people say, wow, look at that bullet. That's so huge. There's no way it couldn't have an exit wound. And I'll put up one of the clandestine posts about that. That you take away the casing and the lead part of the bullet that goes flying through the air is a lot smaller than this bullet. Less than half the size. But a lot of people that haven't even let off a pop gun in the past go, wow, look at how huge that bullet is. But there's got scratched in there. Hey, fascist, catch. Kind of hard to see. But here's the post where he talks about being in infantry. And I talked briefly about ballistics and concussive force, turbulence. You know, something flying through the air at that kind of speed. I had somebody throw, well, I'll tell that story later. He didn't throw stuff at me again. But anyway, he was a ball player. Rocks and a beer can full. Didn't hit me, thank goodness. But you could feel the wind when it went by at about 80 miles an hour. And I made my way up to where he was at. And as I said a few minutes ago, he didn't throw anything at me ever again. But that's a long time ago at a party, and I don't know what possessed him, but I know what straightened him out. Anyway, Clandestine said, as an infantryman, having to listen to all these Facebook grandmas and ballistic experts tell me I don't know what I'm talking about has been boiling my blood for 10 months. When addressing a gunshot casualty in tactical combat casualty care combat lifesaver training, TCCC, CLS, I added one extra C there, sorry, is to find, address the entry wound, and then look for the exit wound. With the major caveat that in all caps, he said, there is not always an exit wound. And in many cases, if there is an exit wound, it's not where you would expect it to be. Because bullets ricochet off bones, can pop out in different locations, or tumble inside the body and never exit. Bullets do strange things inside the body if they connect with bones, and they are largely unpredictable. So for all the people who continue to say, there's no way a .30 caliber, wait a minute, a bullet would not leave an exit wound, you dip SH and ITs have zero clue what you're talking about. This Shiite happens all the time, especially given that Robinson used a round designed to fragment to cause more damage on impact, which is what Hinckley used on Ronald Reagan. As a matter of fact, they called it an explosive bullet, even though it was small caliber. Not designed for penetration. This will go down as the dumbest 10 months in internet history. Mass information retardation. Now, a lot of people aren't going to understand a lot of the issues with ballistics, but I talked about the different bones it could have hit. One's as big as a dinner plate, and bones are hard, lead is soft. Hi, Mac. Oh, man, well, lay down. I don't know what time zone you're in, but make sure you get some good rest. Greg, how you doing? Yeah, Rico charges. Yeah, I agree. Miss Mendersu, are you doing better? Oh, my goodness. Still waiting to hear from my daughter. Oh, hopefully she'll get a hold of you soon. All right. Thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. So anyway, I always put up, not always, but I put up stuff from Clandestine. Well, this bum here formally stepped out. And, what is it with this guy? Is he trying to outdo Fetterman with the scroungy look? Was that part of his plan? Have you noticed that? Have you ever seen him in what one would consider a senator's affect, a dress or presentation? Or does he always look like, some bum standing outside of a pool hall? I don't know. But he's at least for now, history. And it's interesting. They would move heaven and earth to keep from losing him. So we know we got white hats working somehow, some way. But look what they invested in this guy. Look what they invested in this guy.
Democrats spend big on Graham Plattner. They $16 million invested in the campaign, $2 million funds remaining. So $14 million bucks. A lot of people say it's flushed down the toilet now that he's leaving, but most of that money was spent undermining Trump or smearing Trump, smearing Republicans, not exclusively Plattner-centric. So, but they are spending tons of money. Keep in mind, though, we've beaten out sometimes 10-1. We still won. Okay, so it doesn't matter how much they throw it. But who is the lady that is it? A lady that's taking over for him now? I'm not sure, but I guess we'll find out. But they can write off Maine, I think. I don't know. Never let your guard down. Never let your guard down. What is the story here? Here's this lady. And this was put up by The Sun. Man, 26, arrested after ex-UK minister, they put it on YouTube, so I guess I could say it, murdered with cops, quote, open-minded over the motive. They broke into her home. No description that I've heard. Here she is again. Mario Nawfal, former MP. Anne Whitcomb, killed at 78. She was found in her home in Haytor on Dartmoor with serious injuries. Police were called in by ambulance crews yesterday, and today they opened a full murder inquiry with a manhunt on for a man they haven't named. Well, they captured him. This was just before he got captured. Whitcomb spent 23 years as a Tory MP and prisons minister under John Major, later turning up as a Brexit Party MEP and most recently Reform UK figure. Whatever you made of reviews, this is not how anyone should go. Well, not according to some of the posts Andy No is putting up. I'll put them up in a minute. But he met her. And the big question now is, who is this person? And what does it say for conservatives, even if you're retired from politics? I'll go ahead and put them up now. Here you go, Andy No. Trans extremists are among the leftists celebrating. Now, I'm putting this up now because what are we dealing with on this trial? What Andy No just started off his post with. Trans extremists are among the leftists celebrating on social media about the murder of Reform Party spokeswoman and longtime conservative politician Anne Whitcomb. She was 78. I had the pleasure of meeting Miss Whitcomb briefly in London a few years ago. I'm stunned and shocked at this devastating news. But here's the kind of people we're dealing with. All the types that were celebrating Charlie Kirk. Here's what Heather Herbert is going back to sleep. And some good news for once. I hope it was an extremely painful death. Who the hell would post that on social media? And I hope she was handcuffed. Well, I'll let you all read it. I'm not reading that out loud. Just so you all realize what we're dealing with. Here's another post. Andy No put up a couple more. I didn't get them all, but here's some jerk named Peter Tatchell. saying she's dead, right? She opposed every gay law. And by the way, Andy Ngo is gay, and I don't make any bones about that. Nobody makes fun of him. Everybody respects his reporting. Nobody bothers him as a person from the right. The only trouble he gets is from the left. She opposed every gay law reform for reform. Is reform riding around on bikes in front of kids with no clothes on? Is that reform? Cultivating kids in school? Is that what you're talking about? Supporting every legal discrimination against LGBT, whatever. Is that discrimination by saying, get the hell out of my face and leave my kids alone? We got to get stronger on this. She also backed bids to cure homosexuality and said people should have the right to discriminate. And then he calls her a bigot. It's not discrimination. I don't like them, and I don't want them liking me, okay? I don't want to have lunch with them. I don't want to be near them. That's my choice, my prerogative. But, you know, they get violent. If you want us to do what? Kiss your butt? Oh, yeah, I think you do. But that ain't going to happen. Wait a minute, my screen's freezing. Did I get in trouble? Here's the last one I copied. Something called socialist worker. Boy, isn't that a oxymoron. Hurrah! Anne Widdecombe is strictly dead. Homophobic bigot! Anne Widdecombe has danced her last tango. There ain't no such thing as a socialist worker. But if you don't agree with them, they get violent, they get angry. Where's that clip of that one lady? Right here. She tells it like it is. This woman said what the world is scared to admit.
Nobody has the right to live their lives being protected from offence or from insult or from hurt feelings. It is an occupational hazard of living in society. And if you really can't take it, become a hermit.
There you go. That ought to be played on a loop. Let me see. Here's a report on the manhunt. Or I don't know if this is when they reported they caught him or what.
We can confirm that a 26-year-old man was arrested at an address in Newton Abbot this afternoon on suspicion of the murder of Anne Widdecombe. The suspect, who is a white British national, remains in police custody whilst the inquiries continue. Officers were called to Miss Widdecombe's home at Haytor by the ambulance service around 11:40 a.m. on Thursday, the 9th of July. Sadly, 78-year-old Miss Widdecombe was located deceased within the property. She has sustained serious injuries. Her next of kin have been informed and are being supported by specially trained officers. Detectives from the Force Major Crime Investigation Team have launched a murder investigation and are conducting extensive inquiries into the circumstances surrounding Miss Widdecombe's death. While we work closely with our partners and have consulted counter-terrorism policing as part of our initial inquiries, the incident is not being treated as terrorism.
I wonder if he had ties to Antifa. If he does. I wonder if he does. Because here's a reminder. Holy S-H-I-N-T, clandestine again. So shortly after Charlie Kirk's 5-day preliminary hearing ends, we get word from the Trump State Department that Rubio is setting his sights on Antifa. Robinson's had Antifa phrases carved in the bullet casings. Coincidence? How much was Antifa involved? And yeah, I am curious about this murder in over in Europe, because they're all over the world.
Also, back to Secretary of State Marco Rubio. He is setting his sights on Antifa. He's inviting ministers from more than 60 countries to discuss the resurgence of transnational far-left terrorism that will happen next week in Washington. According to the Washington Post, the administration is weighing using counterterrorism tools and foreign terrorism labels for Antifa. The meeting is expected to bring together foreign and interior ministers from Europe, Latin America, and Asia.
They're all over the place. All over the place, causing tumult. Here's that clip of Posobiec. He's in the courtroom. He's in the courtroom and he's been reporting. So here we go. He's given the description. I hope it's not too bad. We'll see. I don't think it will be too bad, but at the Tyler Robinson murder trial.
I think everything's been proven. I think it's proven. It's, I would say, beyond probable cause at this point. I think that the question for me is how do you even get reasonable doubt when there's so much evidence? But the thing that I do just have to say is that I know that you guys watching on live stream couldn't see the last video that was shown. Well, it wasn't edited. It was zoomed in. Yeah. It was zoomed in from the surveillance video off campus, and specifically the part of the Losi Center, the roof, and you see everything. You see everything. He climbs over. He assembles the gun. He runs over to the edge. Gets down in a prone position, and you see the time, and we all know what time. And it was like so slow, just watching those seconds, click, 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 and then you see him take the shot, and he takes the shot, and then immediately runs, and we've seen that video already, but I knew we were going to watch that, but I wasn't prepared to see this side of what happened because we've never seen it before. We saw the other end of the shot, obviously, but this was a whole other level of just evil, and I got very upset watching it, and obviously the family was very hard for them to watch, and I looked over and I saw Tyler wasn't even looking. He wasn't even looking. See what he did.
Is that somebody in the background making noise to disrupt his broadcast? That's what I think is going on. He's trying to think while somebody is distracting him with some kind of racket. And my blink rate would go up too. And so would my pulse rate. And if that's the case, I guarantee it's somebody with a mask. So one of the things I was going to bring up, where are all these, like with Luigi Mangione and these other crazy-ass cases? They're laying low, but apparently not during Posobiec's clip he's trying to make here. He can't concentrate
for whatever's going on in the background. It's hard enough to hear the damn video without that racket going on.
And I would just say that I do wish, the public could see that. I hope that that video is made public, not because I want it to happen. I didn't want any of this to happen. I hate all of this. I hate being here. But people need to see what happened. People need to see the other side of this, because this is a case. We need to see the truth. We need to see the facts. And it's the video of the sniper taking the shot. It is exactly what you think it would look like, but it's one of the hardest things I've ever had to watch, probably since the initial, when this happened, the first video.
Yeah, that last part sounded like a plane, but earlier in the broadcast and all through the broadcast, it sounded like it had a rhythm to it. But anyway, this judge is aggravating people. I don't believe he means to, but he's being a little too persnickety and too easily, I think, manipulated by the defense. And it's, stuff's getting put out slow, and it's stuff being excluded that we'll probably see later. But man, they sure are dragging it out over something simple. Probable cause hearing. Is there probable cause? Yes. Okay, let's set a trial date. New York City Socialist Mayor Zohran Mamdani's office canceled. Got to remember, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, all these groups, most of the mainstream media, these politicians are being installed. They're all playing in concert. They all have roles to play, and they all have the same goals. Okay? He canceled a planned meeting with Iran's ambassador to the United Nations after getting slammed for meddling in foreign affairs that fall securely under President Trump's jurisdiction. What the hell is the mayor of a city in the United States doing, planning a meeting with Iran's ambassador to the United Nations? Yes, you can go to jail for that kind of crap if you don't watch your step. And I'm sure there's been other discussions, communications, not just, well, we didn't have the meeting, so nothing happened. Oh, yeah, let's see all the records. Let's see all the emails. Let's see all the DMs. Let's see all the phone call records.
Well, New York City Mayor's office is under fire after Zohran Mamdani's International Affairs Commissioner reportedly made plans to meet with Iran's UN ambassador earlier this week. The timing could not have been worse. And the New York Post reporting this, the scheduled meeting would have unfolded after Iranian troops fired missiles at 2 commercial ships traversing the Strait of Hormuz. An action Monday in direct defiance of an interim peace agreement between the U.S. and Iran. Mayor Mamdani was asked about this at a news conference today. Watch.
That meeting did not take place. It will not take place. And I did not know about it until there was a press inquiry regarding it. And when it comes to the work of our commissioner and our International Affairs Office, it's to ensure that as we are a city of the world, that we are also there to meet with leaders from across the world. The focus is always on our city and our relationship. The commissioner recognizes that this was made an error, and we're working on a new process in terms of new meeting requests.
Yeah, going to meet with a representative of the Iranian government after Trump has been talking for years that they're trying to assassinate him, and you have no business dealing in foreign policy. Okay, we'll see how it all pans out. Okay, how about that? Here's how desperate the left is. Midas trash. MAGA tears. Yeah, we're really crying. Hunter Biden. That's who they're holding up as an expert. Hunter Biden. Trump is the most corrupt person in American history.
this has got to be a joke. The disgraceful way Hunter Biden, and a drug addict, guns, child support, prostitution, human trafficking, all that stuff, all laid out, all in the congressional record, all in the hands of the FBI, saying that about Trump. And they're taking him seriously. They are taking him seriously. Oh, here's another thing about Candace. This guy, Stan Price, put this up. There she is. There she is. She's closing her eyes and making a point you don't understand. This Stan Price. Tyler's mom, Tyler did it. Tyler's dad, Tyler did it. Tyler's boyfriend, Tyler did it. Law enforcement, Tyler did it. The evidence, Tyler did it. Tyler, I did it. Candace Owens. It wasn't Tyler. Everyone else is lying. Something just feels off to me. Why are they focusing on this stuff with all the crap we're dealing with every day? Talk about media misdirection. You see a report like this. Here's a guy. Man who was fatally shot in Houston was not ICE target. Department of Homeland Security. ABC Chicago. The man fatally shot during a traffic stop by an Immigration and Customs Enforcement officer in Houston this week was not the original target of the immigration enforcement operation. And people are going to go, oh, see, ICE is full of careless murderers and criminals, and they killed an innocent man who was not the target. They used the same photo. I think they only got one photo of him. So was he a Maryland man, a Houston man? What kind of man was he? Oh, wait. They used the same picture. His name is Laurent. This was Eyewitness News, ABC. ABC Chicago. This is ABC New York. All the same song they're singing. Lorenzo Salgado Arajo, a Mexican national, resembled the target. He was not the original target. He just resembled him. And he was a Mexican national. So, of course, the lefties are going crazy. What's the question you and I are asking about this person that they don't answer? They put in this report also, he was not the original target. What's the question they don't answer? He was not the original target and he resembled the person, so therefore ICE acted unlawfully. Well, then you get the New York Post. A lot less words and a lot more information. Illegal immigrant killed after allegedly trying to plow car into ICE officer. You see the two examples I put up before this report? You would think he was an innocent person. They had no call to interact with him at all. And they mistook him, mistaken identity, and they killed him. No. He was an illegal immigrant. He was given instructions. He was given lawful commands. He tried to run over agents to get away. He was here unlawfully. Well, I couldn't keep quiet. Because what were some of the comments? All of the comments. Resemble, and a tear. R.I.P., a heart and a dove. You can't make a cake without breaking eggs. And they said it's somebody's quote like Trump or something like that. I put up there, resembled. Yep. Walked like a duck, quacked like a duck. An illegal duck. Should have cooperated with law enforcement, not run them down. What kind of duck now? One guess. And if you put it in the chat, spell the A with a 4. He was a D-A-D duck. D-E-A-D duck. And no, it's not funny, and it's not, it's the truth. Tom Homan said it. If we're looking for people and they happen to be with somebody that is here illegally, they are going to. They're going to go too. That's our job. You know, Trump put up a couple of things. Let me see. Gosh, time is flying by. I'm going to play the whole thing. This is a short clip. Trump put this post up. Iran exported 78 million barrels of oil last month.
Israel has warned the United States that Iran hatched a plot to assassinate President Trump. KT McFarland joins me now. KT, they're huge posters now. We're not even going to show them, but they're huge posters all over Tehran calling for Trump's death, one offering a reward for his killing. How should we respond to this? This is really direct now, like it never has been before.
You know, I've worked for 4 presidents, and they've always, assassination attempts come with the job. I even worked for Reagan when he almost died from an assassination attempt. But President Trump he's really fatalistic about it, and he's not fazed by it. And even when he was in Ankara, Turkey, he said, look, it comes with the job. They've tried. I'm the #1 target of any assassin in the world. And
yeah, he put up a longer clip, which I'll play. But I want to show you a series, two videos in a row that I took a screenshot of that's representative of what we're dealing with. I mean, we're talking extreme danger. And they hold a grudge. And they're violent. And they're puppets. Following a rat here. Well, I'll put this up since I got here. Dangerous, lunatic puppets. Judge orders portion of Tyler Robinson police interview to be redacted. Trials are supposed to be public for a reason. I don't know if somebody's going to have a talk with this judge or not. We're going to see. But people need to understand the danger that is worldwide. Let me find that. Find those two videos back to back. Here you go. Here you go. This is a good example. I mean, this is just the way it came up in my feed. A lot of you guys watch Tusi. Police manhunt in UK for the coward that broke into a 78-year-old woman's house and brutalized her. Because they're evil and they're filled with hate. This is what they were putting up in the streets of Iran and Iraq. Hey, Trump. Who do you think made those banners over there in the Middle East? Think they made it on their dirt floor in their hut or whatever the hell they have? No, some professionals made them. Coordinated. Terror groups. Remember when Trump said cut off everything with Spain? I want you to do it now. No more. We don't even want them visiting. Did the mainstream media make hay out of that? Trump is destroying our relations with our allies. No, they didn't say a word about it. You know why? Because in 15 minutes, Spain caves. And is this reported in American media? Let me get that to. No. Sky News Australia. They immediately folded and are acquiescing to whatever Trump wants. Increase their money to the UN and are helping participate. Here's the crap they want to put out. But wait till the last part of this little article. Like they often do with the truth. They hold it till the last if they put the truth in at all. Shipping traffic through the Strait of Hormuz has dropped sharply, with just 22 verified transits recorded Thursday, Kepler reports. Only one vessel crossed via the Omani Channel. The rest opted for Iran's designated shipping lane. 22 transits is well down from 40 to 50 in recent weeks and a fraction of the 100 daily crossings recorded before the war began. And everybody says, oh, what's people supposed to do? Oh, this is terrible. Oh, Iran has control. Oh, no, this was during active combat events. But wait a minute. Wait, there's more. Some vessels are disabling transponders entirely, meaning actual traffic may be higher than tracked figures show. You're damn right. They're trying to create a panic in the oil market. And here is the oil price. I don't know what it is right this instant. Even with bombs flying through the air, the biggest operations since the start for 2 nights straight. Iran is paralyzed. They can't do anything. And when they send their little mosquito boats out, they get blown up. What did CENTCOM say yesterday? 80 targets were hit. How many think it is now? And ships are going through. Don't let the mainstream media panic people, panic you, or anybody else. So anyway, here is a video Trump put up, and I'll play it in its entirety. He thought it was important enough to post on his Truth Social. And, keep it on top of the stuff is part of the reason why prices are stable. Hell, they're damn near $40 less than Biden's situation, and nobody refers back to it. Just like nobody referred back to when Trump was talking about the attempts on his life 2 years ago. Anyway, here we go. Go ahead and play it.
Israel has warned the United States that Iran hatched a plot to assassinate President Trump. KT McFarland joins me now. KT, they're huge posters now. We're not even going to show them, but they're huge posters all over Tehran calling for Trump's death, one offering a reward for his killing. How should we respond to this? This is really direct now, like it never has been before.
I've worked for 4 presidents, and they've always, assassination attempts come with the job. I even worked for Reagan when he almost died from an assassination attempt. But President Trump he's really fatalistic about it, and he's not fazed by it. And even when he was in Ankara, Turkey, he said, look, it comes with the job. They've tried. I'm the #1 target of any assassin in the world. And so he's in a very unique position. Not only is it the Trump derangement syndrome American potential assassins, but it's now coming from Iran, from the country of Iran. I just think, what do you do about it? You make sure that the government of Iran going forward, whatever the deal is, whenever the deal is, can police its own. And you also make sure that the Secret Service is just as good as it can be, and you continue to have a strong relationship with Israeli intelligence, because they're the best in the world.
God bless them. I mean, if it had, for all those people who dump on Israel, of course, a lot of them don't care about Donald Trump, but the fact is that it was that Israeli intelligence, apparently, that prevented this attack or prevented the execution of it. And that's really a good ally when they can help prevent an assassination. Meanwhile, you do have, despite all this, you have the idea of the talks.
What's the common thread? With Candace Owen, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, all the other people I mentioned, they're all bashing Israel. Okay? Every one of them. I'm just make what you want of it. But every single one of them bashing Israel. Why?
Continuing, and there does seem to be a tension now in the White House between VP Vance, who we know is pushing for more negotiations, and Secretary of State Rubio, who says enough is enough, which is what Donald Trump seemed to be saying in the middle of the week, in the beginning of the week. Is Trump using this as kind of a good cop, bad cop negotiating tool?
Yeah, I mean, Trump likes to listen to all people, but Trump is the only guy. He's a decider in chief. He makes the decisions. Yeah. And even if nobody recommends a decision, he'll take it. What I thought was really interesting, David, is what Lauren was just saying about the price of oil. Watch how the negotiations have affected the price of oil. So before the war, it was about $70 a barrel. When the war starts, it goes up to about $120 a barrel. And that was putting a lot of pressure on the world economy, on gasoline prices in the United States, et cetera. Then you have this ceasefire, and price of oil goes way back down to about 70. And now where are we? What did Lauren just say? $76 a barrel today?
No. $72 a barrel.
Okay, $72 a barrel, 76 yesterday. So despite the fact that we're back at war, and despite the fact that President Trump has said we're going to hit them hard, et cetera, and we are hitting them hard, oil is not the leverage and the blackmail that Iran had before. Right. Why is that? Because in the period of the ceasefire, a number of countries have started buying American, right? They've been buying oil from Alaska, from the Gulf of America, and American crude oil exports have gone up 30% just since the war began. The other thing is that the Middle East allies, the Saudis, UAE especially, Iraq, they're building pipelines and fast-tracking those pipelines. Right. So with every day, Iran's ability to blackmail the world with the Strait of Hormuz goes down.
KT, you worked with the great Secretary of State Henry Kissinger. Kissinger always was hoping, I think one of his dreams was that eventually there would be some kind of deal between Israel and the Arab countries that would kind of isolate Iran, put Iran in a pocket. It seems that Donald Trump, through the Abraham Accords, has worked this out, or at least that we have the basis for all of that working out. And these tensions now with Iran are the final proof of that, because you see the UAE leaving OPEC, et cetera. It seems like things are working in the direction that even Kissinger wanted to go for.
It's
I think he's got a fundamental misunderstanding of who Henry Kissinger was. In my opinion, I've opined on him in the past. But anyway, let's see if Katie kind of laughs about that. I don't think she will. She's too smooth.
Now, in the fullness of time, it's taken a long time.
It has.
But if you had said that you would have a situation where the United States and Israel and the Gulf Arab countries were working together, fighting together, not just trading, but fighting together against Iran, nobody would have believed you.
Right.
And yet that's the new Middle East. I think that the whole Iran war, as important as it is and important as Iran's nuclear weapons and getting rid of them was, the end result of this is a complete change of the chessboard in the Middle East.
No,
we now have a lot of really close friends and allies, and that's the big takeaway.
These are historic times, really historic times. Things that have been happening for 40, 50 years are beginning to change now. Great to see you, KT. Thank you so much for coming in.
Really and not only that, not only these new alliances, but as she pointed out, America is providing oil, and other countries are developing delivery systems, and Iran, their influence is going to dwindle, and the Strait of Hormuz is not going to be as important as it once was. Let's see what this report is. I'm not sure. Let's see. Let me see.
An American mother.
Let me go ahead and play it, and then we'll talk about it, as I don't even know the topic.
Mother from New York has been found dead in a popular tourist town in Ireland, and the person of interest has fled the country.
My God. Have you all heard about this? This woman. Tell me how screwed up this is. A New York mother, Jamie Carney, was brutally beaten till the end of her life in a popular Irish tourist town. So she's from New York. She went to the Irish tourist town allegedly by her asylum seeker boyfriend, and he has now fled the country after the pair met at a pro-Palestine march. So she meets this character, Ahmed al-Askar, at a pro-Palestine rally. Then she goes to Ireland, where he ends her life. And he fled to where? He fled to Turkey. New York Post. Ahmed al-Askar, who moved to Ireland in 2024 seeking asylum, is suspected of beating Carney to death before boarding a bus from Killarney to Dublin early Tuesday morning and getting a last-minute flight to Istanbul, according to sources in Ireland. So she was a river to the sea liberal, and that, you know what goes with that? The tranny stuff and all this other crap. And in a country of 370 million Americans, she's got to fall in, quote, love with somebody who claims to be an asylum seeker. Okay. Should have stuck with the Irish guy. I don't know.
Irish police revealing the victim, Jamie Carney, fought to defend herself in her final moments. Authorities are on an international manhunt for the person who is reportedly an asylum seeker. They say he was able to escape to Turkey quickly after the deadly attack. His identity has not been publicly released.
So I don't know how old her kids were. That's terrible for them. And, well, terrible for her. It's awful. But, man, that's some life choices best to avoid. Pennsylvania Senators John Fetterman and Dave McCormick, a Republican, just stunned America, teaming up with joint fundraising as the leftists push Fetterman out. Speculation is swirling. Fetterman will switch parties ahead of a costly 2028 run. Well, wait a minute. I'll play the video, but I don't like the way this is being set up. Fetterman is going to be pushing for mass amnesty. And Republicans think we got to be nice to Fetterman because we want him to come on our side. No. Why team up with him, Dave McCormick? Let him sit in his own pew, like in church. You sit in your own pew. You sit in your own stink and deal with your problems in your party, all right? Don't bring them over to us. And we should win that seat with a real Republican, not somebody who's the Democrats are just hanging out with scumbags, and I really don't like the people they hang out with.
But he's a Democrat at heart, and he's going to push for amnesty for millions of people, and he's going to have a swing vote as a Republican. We don't even need him. That's my opinion. But I think it's a setup that's been in the works for a while. A setup to put through mass amnesty and have it a pill that most Americans will swallow when we shouldn't even be thinking of it.
For a joint fundraising committee, these two men, different political parties, but they've made it very clear they're going to be bipartisan. And even though they have different perspectives, they both want what's best for Pennsylvania. And, of course, John Fetterman has become the conscience of the Democratic Party. So they're joining forces together, and let's see what the people say about that.
Yeah, and their track record sort of demonstrates this not only bipartisanship, but commitment to Pennsylvanian values. So while many elected officials and leaders of their party have just been obsessed with Trump, these guys have been sponsoring bipartisan legislation to combat the fentanyl crisis. They've supported Nippon Steel's $14 billion investment and partnership with U.S. Steel. They secured
Look at this. Look how much work they put in that presentation. Common ground in the Commonwealth. And that's what they had on their chevron or whatever they call it at the beginning of the broadcast. Common ground in the Commonwealth. And so that's going to be the common ground. Oh, if they haven't committed any crime and they've been here for a long time, let's just give them mass amnesty. You watch what I'm saying.
Replace the Delaware River Bridge and improve a PA turnpike. And they joined forces in stark contrast to the governor of Pennsylvania. They said, nope, you know what? We don't mind Trump's in office. Regardless who's in office, we are American and we represent Pennsylvanians. So we are going to help represent PA at the Great American State Fair. Remember, that was the one that was boycotted by so many Democratic governors who looked the other way, celebrating America's 250th Independence Year birthday because a Republican was in office. So these guys have been walking the walk for quite some time. So now they're saying, you know what, we're going to do it formally, and let's get some other people on board.
What's going to be interesting is what Fetterman does. Right. Does he want to run again? Because he had some health problems.
He's going to get a primary
he looks healthier.
Challenge.
And
yes.
Does he run if you primary him, maybe he runs as a Republican.
Wow.
And if he does stay in the Democratic Party, do Republicans even run someone against him? So, because they work so well together,
yes.
And he's been so, he visited Mar-a-Lago. He doesn't visit Trump, but they don't talk all the time. But President Trump sees what he's doing.
Yeah.
And any other, but maybe.
You know what's so crazy about the whole thing, though? Fetterman votes with the Democrats 70% of the time.
Yeah.
Like, he's not some raging Republican MAGA guy.
Turning to a moderate.
It's just like,
independent thinker.
There's certain things that is just common sense for him. And he's not going to be angry at the president over every little thing. I think they're losing out on him. You're going to lose a seat. It's either you go with a Fetterman type or that's going to be a Republican seat.
Right. Meanwhile, straight ahead, let's talk a little.
I don't think it's anything to smile about. They made their own socialistic, hedonistic bed. The Democrats make them lay in it. Okay? We don't need him. But look at here. How many people are we going to see in some of these videos I play, like my intro videos? You see pictures of Alexander Vindman, okay? And all these other characters. How many are we going to see in players in this drama? Here we see Vindman now. Exclusive. This from Laura Loomer. She's like a bulldog when she gets on something. Florida Democrat U.S. Senate candidate Alex Vindman creates joint fundraising committees with radical left Texas candidate. That would be this Alfred E. Newman, James Talicaro. So they've got coordinating with the states of Texas and Florida in some kind of joint fundraising. Let's see how far that goes before they get in some kind of trouble for campaign violations. But he's wedding himself. He's wedding himself to those lunatics. Speaking of lunatics, Here's the UK police. Well, this would be Britain police, right? British police. What's going on? They're running, let me see. Running from, oh, my screen. Here we go. Try again. Here we go. British police run from rioters after the France-Morocco match. So who do you think the rioters are? You think it's regular citizens of jolly old England? I don't think so. I put it on a loop so you could see all the Palestinian flags. And, whoa, wait a second. I got a problem here. There we go. All the Palestinian flags. And they're running like hell. Way to go. Way to go, England. Oh, you know, I call them, I don't know if they take my comments down or what. But there's a term I use. Not for all Europeans, don't anybody get mad at me. But for certain Europeans, I call them Euro fairies. Euro fairies. And Erdogan over there in Turkey gave a gift to a lot of people at the summit they just had. What did he give them? Did you all hear about the gift that Erdogan gave? Let me find a picture of it before I play this little clip. He gave them 357 Magnums that were made in Turkey. It turns out they have been producing high-quality firearms in Turkey, and they've really been taking off since the 1990s. Where's the one about Keir Starmer? I mean Keir Starmer. Hold on. Daggone it. Well, they didn't let him, he had to leave his behind. Where is it? Here we go. Daggone it. Turkish president gave a revolver to every NATO leader, but UK gun laws mean Keir Starmer had to leave his behind. This is a state gift from a head of state to another head of state. A 357 Magnum with each person got their name engraved. Erdogan's parting gift to ensure Starmer goes out with a bang. But he didn't get to go out with a bang. They wouldn't even let him in the country. So that's why I call them, certain people, Euro fairies. So here is a guy who's not a Euro fairy, I guess, because he brought his back. And some of them, like the Finnish president and a couple others, they actually mangled the gun. They disabled it where it couldn't be used and put it in a museum. Okay? And you all are going to handle Russia? Right. But anyway, here he is showing off the pistole. Well, that's a nice piece of hardware there, baby. Yeah, I'd like to have one. But you know, That's Erdogan from Turkey. And I want to point this out. Trump posted this. No comment except reposting Buzz Patterson's tweet. The boss is in Turkey. Watch the genuine warmth he has and his respect for Turkish military officers. He's the real deal. I've been a member of these official visits entourage, and this is unusual and heartwarming. That's why I brought up earlier that Trump probably got some information more from Turkey and the Turkish military about his safety and why there was a switch in planes. And I think Trump is showing his appreciation because they're keeping their word. Trump settled that Syria problem. He dealt with the Kurds, okay? And that ain't over yet. The Kurds are going to be dealing with Iran, along with the Syrians. And he kind of put a lot of stuff to bed that was causing Erdogan problems. And I think this is them returning the favor, and I think the Turkish military had more to do, more than people know about them being involved with what Iran was planning against Trump. But here he is meeting with the military. Thank you very much. We have to get a picture of this. Come on. So beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
Welcome, Mr. President, the ambassador in DC.
Yes, that's right. You're doing a good job, by the way. Welcome, Mr. President. Head of Communications. Nice to see you. Very good. Welcome, Mr. President. National Secretary. Chief of Cabinet. Yes, good. Nice to see you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Horticulture, Ankara Garnison Commander. Welcome, Excellence.
Nice to see you. Thank you. Like your voice.
Deputy Mayor of Ankara, welcome to our city.
It's an honor. You did a good job.
Thank you very much.
General Muharrem Hasan. I'm the commander of this air base.
I look forward to seeing you. I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to hurt their feelings. Okay.
Teşekkür ederim.
Thank you. Thank you. You saw a lot in the body language. Protective. Erdogan keeping his arm on Trump's elbow while they walked. Putting his hand, covering Trump's hand with his hand. This is old school Islamic hospitality. Okay? You're a guest in their country. You're protected, period. And that's the way they would use it. And Turkey was a huge ally during World War II. I told you how the old friend of mine who served in World War II at the Battle of the Bulge, and he said, never have to worry about Turkey. You know, he doesn't know about, of course, he's gone now, but he'd be over 100 years old now. But anyway, Turkey was great friends with great allies to the United States. And you saw the body language there. And it was communicating to the world, okay? A protective thing, walk with Trump, with linking arms and shaking hands, covering his hands, that there is genuine warmth there, and there would be big trouble
if anybody hurt or bothered Trump while he was a guest of that country. And yeah, I see what you're saying about Cold Python, but I tell you what's going on with Turkey's gun making? They're saying that they are on par with the old school Italian Beretta craftsmanship. That's what's being said about what's coming out of Turkey now. Hi, Felix. How you doing? By the way, I put a link in the chats about 15 minutes ago. I forgot to say anything, even though, pow, I saw the booms that Miss Mindersu put up, kaboom. And I put a link for Buy Me a Coffee. If anybody wants to go by and help the channel out, I appreciate it. Miss Mindersu left a big Moab kabow, along with Robin went to Buy Me a Coffee. Let me put the red boom up. Wait a minute. Where are you going to go? There we go. Boom. And Mike and Bev, they went and had a little fun for the 4th of July. They're back now. Boom. And stop by Buy Me a Coffee. And I do appreciate it. Like I say, a link in the chats about 15 minutes ago. I'll put it in again later. If anybody wants to help out the channel, it's greatly appreciated. This is a totally viewer-supported channel. And I'm not monetized on YouTube. Okay? Totally viewer-supported. Now, here's CNN. This is important to CNN now. Hegseth pushes for action after sailors appear to flout his beard policy. You know, I didn't get a screenshot of it. I wish I had. But other sites like the New York Post were putting up several that Hegseth was being praised for coming to the support of these Apache helicopter pilots who got in big trouble for flying over, I think it was a South Carolina beach. And the disciplinary action was pretty rough, what I heard. And Hegseth came in to mitigate for them, you know, Apache helicopter pilots who were showing their rear ends a little bit on the beach. But people were cheering and loving it, thought it was great. But now, CNN doesn't say a word about that. They say about this beard policy. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth pushes faster action on strict beard policy and Pentagon reforms after sailors appeared to flout standards during a ship visit. Well, the comments are all out, you know, saying bad things about, hey, the rules are the rules, and you shave your face, and that's it. I never had to do it, but I had a guy one time over top of me. You come here and you haven't shaved, you're going to dry shave. Now, in the sink, no water. You shaved every day. Anyway, dry shaving, never try that? Clandestine again. Reminder, immediately after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, Trump and his administration openly and repeatedly connected the murder to Antifa. The administration connected it. Trump, Stephen Miller, Cash, all strongly hinted Antifa was involved in Charlie Kirk's murder to some degree. Now, fast forward to today. As soon as the preliminary trial ends, Rubio said he's going after Antifa. It's almost like Trump and his administrations are trying to tell us something. There very well may be co-conspirators to Charlie's murder, but it's not the Jews or Egyptian planes. It's Antifa, the Dems' brown shirts. Trump and his administration are spoon-feeding it to us. They can't tell us directly because it's an active investigation, but they are hinting at it heavily. Antifa. And he posted this up. Backing it up, yes, the Trump administration in 2025 repeatedly and prominently mentioned Antifa in connection with Charlie Kirk's assassination by Tyler Robinson. Key statements and actions. Trump himself. He blamed radical left rhetoric
and groups for contributing to violence, vowed to target those responsible, including, quote, organizations that funded and supported it, and stated he would designate Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization or use authorities to disrupt it. He signed related executive actions memos citing the killing. Stephen Miller, senior advisor, described a vast domestic terror movement linked to the left, vowing to identify, disrupt, dismantle, and destroy these networks. In Kirk's name, he referenced terrorists, networks, and broader crackdowns. So, I don't think they should do any deal with this guy. Oh, you tell us who was involved and we'll give you life. No. Him and Luigi Mangione need to get taken care of, and I mean now. I mean now. What I was alluding to earlier in the broadcast about Mockingbird and MK Ultra. The bottom line is their essence is behavior modification. Okay? Mockingbird is to get people to think a certain way, get their behavior, their brain to go in a certain direction. Behavior modification. MK Ultra is the same thing. Reward and punishment scenario system that causes people's behavior to modify in the direction you want to modify their behavior. Now, the MK Ultra trials are having hearings about in the Senate. They are much more direct, person-to-person, physical contact, the use of psychotropic drugs. But the essence of it is behavior modification, a reward and punishment system, even if it's subtle, even if it's psychological, even if it's has to do with stroking the ego or embarrassing somebody to make them feel bad. Stroke the ego to make them feel good. It's subtle ways. And they use the same systems to some degree in everything. From your notifications you get on Google that are totally, I'll say, centric to this socialist movement, this communist Marxist movement, all right? And all the way up to a full-blown MK Ultra thing where you're totally at their mercy, on their schedule, where they drill things in your head and you have to take drugs. It's all different gradients of behavior modification, psychological, illegal psychological warfare is what it is. But anyway, new Democrat socialists, okay, policy platforms. How far do you think they're going to get with this? I'll play this quick video. If this is presented to the people honestly, here, chance of 6+ Democrats House incumbents, prediction markets, lose their primary in 2026. 82% chance. The media is doing everything they can. This is from CNN. To get them to think that they're losing their democracy when we're really kicking out the true fascists, the true enemies of democracy. But they'll do everything they can to turn it around, and they're trying to panic their base. That's what is the only thing that can work for them now, is to panic them. But do you think if their policies are presented fairly, this is Fox News, if this platform was presented fairly to everybody, you think they'd win? I say no.
Is representing people of America on the Hill. They want to eliminate the U.S. Senate. They want to replace the president and the U.S. Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary chosen by a subordinate to Congress. They want amnesty for all immigrants, and they want to defund the Department of War.
This is according to a source inside the DSA.
Yeah, but the main point is that there was this massive talking point that this is just liberal states and, liberal districts where this has happened. I'm sorry. This is happening all across the country. And they have some platforms that a lot of young people and a lot of people that have grievances with the rich are going with. It's anti-American, it's anti-Jew, it's anti-Israel, it's anti the foundation of how this country was built. They believe that our country is deeply flawed, and they're winning. So you got to have a Republican Party that speaks truth to power on all of it. They don't even want the police. They don't want any borders. One candidate said, I don't care if they committed a crime and they're a legal immigrant. You still should not be able to deport them. So we're not talking about reasonable people, but you got to make the case because these young people are showing up to vote. And the college educated, I know there were some headlines about us talking about the other day, but these college educated people have been indoctrinated and they're not rational. They don't understand the markets. They don't understand any of that. They understand this new world order and they're voting for this as well. So we got to start focusing back on the college campuses again.
And some are framing this as sort of a east to west wave. It's not. It is a tide rising all around us. These candidates have been erupting, have been fomenting all across the country. You're absolutely right. Starting with college campuses, city councils, mayors, district attorneys, etc. So they are all around you. They are all around us, and it is abjectly frightening.
Yeah, they're all around us. It's called infiltration. And they've infiltrated the colleges. But we're closing in on them. We're closing in on them. Here is somebody I played a video before. Randy Weingarten, okay, had a lot to do working with Michelle to introduce what? Introduce transgender ideology into the schools and modify the curriculum for history for this to be on stolen land. Cause more damage to the social fabric of this country than most people will ever realize, but there is a probe being launched by the House into Democrat operative Randy Weingarten. The Republican-led House Committee on Education and the Workforce on Wednesday sent a letter to American Federation of Teachers. They're going to want to get all her DMs, all her communications, and we'll see how much foreign influence she had to deal with or what kind of campaign game she was playing. We're zeroing in on folks, and I got a lot more to talk about, but here we are, up against the clock, as usual. And I want to show you a video of a rocket captured or to be reused. Wait a minute. I thought we had all that figured out through Elon Musk. Well, somebody's showing off their rocket. They catch it with a net. Which country do you think it is? And do you think they stole the technology from us? That's why I'm saying about these data centers. Who's complaining about them? Who is talking about all the fear-mongering? Oh, we're going to use up all the power. Oh, they're going to use up all the water. Oh, we got to stop data centers from coming in so they can get ahead of us. We got plenty of water. Data centers can make their own power. Okay? Who's the ones that always start the panic over data centers? If it's CNN, ABC, and all these groups, where are they getting their orders for messaging?
Robert got it. China. Good guess, Miss Mendersu. This is a Chinese version of Elon Musk's rocket retrieval. I think it's a little more, what would you call it? A little more primitive. But they're catching the stuff anyway. But anyway, I just put a link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee. Since I forgot to say anything the last time I put it in, kaboom! If anybody wants to go by there. So enjoy this video. And I want to thank you all for spending your precious time with me. So if you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live, okay? And thank you, Miss Mendersu, for your Moab. And thank you, Robin. And thank you, Mike and Bev, for stopping by Buy Me a Coffee. So anyway, here we go, Elon. You got competitors on your tail. You all have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
7012:15号乙运载火箭成功的被往系突破。及挂锁机构展开。